Harry and Meghan, what a surprise. Harry and Meghan have been branded climate change hypocrites after secretly getting on a private jet to Jamaica to see a new movie. They previously said that private jets should be banned.
You know what? If you want to be a hypocrite, you've either got to be a little bit dishonest or pretty stupid. And the really stupid thing here is that Harry actually set up a charity called Travelist, which is all about sustainable travel.
Brilliant.
You know, it's not as though he just flew and he was accused of flying. He founded and leads a charity that specialises in sustainable travel.
It's the hypocrisy. Do you know, the Brits will put up with quite a lot of things, but they won't stand a hypocrite.
No.
And I think this is what really caught them out. And it's been going on for quite some time that they do say one thing and do another. And we're seeing it a lot from people like Meghan and Harry.
But even worse than that, folk don't like moaning minis, as Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah.
And all you get,
true.
it's rather like when Al Gore landed, wherever he lands, in his private jet, you can always tell it's Al Gore, because when they switch the jet off, the whining carries on. And that's the same thing with Harry and Meghan. It's one pathetic moan after another. And these are two of the most privileged people on the planet. They're wealthy. They've got titles, which they've thrown away. They've thrown away all their credibility.
But do you not think, look, you're not just a lord, you're a viscount, it's a hereditary position, so it's one of the more senior positions you can have in this country. Do you not think that one of the problems with her was she didn't fundamentally understand the way these old institutions work? You can't walk into Buckingham Palace and start throwing your weight round in the way that she did.
I think the thing is that she has American manners, which means no manners at all.
Don't diss the audience. Don't diss the audience.
Quite a big American audience, Lord Monckton.
And the thing is, you know, I love our American cousins dearly. And spend a lot of time
That's patronising.
that was well saved there. But no, the thing is, they don't know the finer points. And particularly, I don't think she was really used to how you treat the staff. And how you treat the staff in an ancient household, and they don't come much more ancient than the royal household, is they are members of the family. They are treated not just with respect, but with affection.
Of course, you would know that even though the chief of staff, the private secretary at Buckingham Palace would bow and scrape and go, oh, my Lord Monckton, that is a very, very senior official, and you can't start pushing them around.
No, and also, you shouldn't. You know, these folk are there to help you. And you should be grateful to them, even if some of the time they don't quite get it right, because, you know, life isn't perfect. And I think that they demand too much, give too little. You know, what they could be doing is much more charitable work. But instead, it's all about me.
And making
you know,
money.
endless contracts with Netflix, which we have therefore cancelled.
Is it true or is it false?
Harry and Meghan, hypocrites. Yes, 100% true. Yeah.
It's absolutely true! So, 28% of Americans under 25 now identify as LGBTQ+. It used to be 4%.
I don't know. I mean, how many identify as liars? That's probably...
Well, I have to say, I self-identify as being right all the time. Therefore, people have to agree with me.
It is.
It's unbelievable, though, isn't it? Because I think that there's a low level of mental health problems amongst young people because of the pressure that they live under. And a lot of these things have become something to make them feel special. And I think that's very dangerous.
Well, I think you're probably right, because everyone's told that, you know, we have to be pro-everybody and pro-transgender and pro... So
Apart from pro-Israeli.
Jews don't count, yes, we know that. But maybe they just feel that, you know, it's a virtue signal to say that they are transgender, and of course that's why they're identifying as transgender, just to, you know, signal their goodness.
I'll tell you
to
the ones I don't understand, Pete, are the Eddie Izzard type people, or is it Susie Izzard, or whatever it is, who says, I self-identify as a woman who is a lesbian. Now, could that just be heterosexual man in a dress?
Yeah, I have to admit, that one has never really... I've never really understood
if
that.
If you're a male lesbian, though, are you gender neutral?
Well, God. Let's go down this rabbit.
By the way, Pete, when you say that's the one that nobody understood, Labour Party selection panels are struggling with that one a lot.
I mean, I have to admit, if Eddie Izzard can't even get through the Labour Party selection candidates process, you might as well just give up. But No, honestly, I've read this bit of research that came out. It's out of one of these big social science kind of companies. And it was genuinely quite fascinating because it's about the future trends of America. And yeah, I do think Lance is right that there is some kind of credence and some kind of street cred to being part of the LGBTQ plus community or being special in some way.
LGBTQ.
And now it's time for me
Yeah.
to address a question to our kind host.
Go on.
Oh, God.
What do the letters LGBTQIIA and plus actually stand for?
I've got to say to you, I'm going to give you a round of applause for being able to recite them. Shows what they're teaching them in the House of Lords these days. But anyway,
We are fully up with the modern cultural
Lord Monckton is that you actually don't go to Marks and Spencer anymore because they did an LGBTQII whatever it is sandwich.
Yes,
so
that's
he
right.
doesn't go
what
to
was
Marks.
it made out of?
Well, it was made of BLT.
Oh, OK. OK, that's
not
reassuring.
BS, then.
That's reassuring to
But they
know.
rebranded it as LGBTQIIA plus. So the carton of the sandwich was.
But
enormous.
OK, Lord Monckton,
Yeah.
in that case, let me throw this back at you and suggest that maybe you're wrong. In a world where this has become just so virtue signalling, where it's become so box ticky, what is wrong with a company just going, we give so little of a toss about this subject that we'll rename our sandwich after it?
Well, if they do that, they weren't poking fun at it. They were actually trying to attract the attention of people to show how woke they were.
Yeah.
And so, you know, the likes of me have all stopped going to Marks and Spencer's, and so should everyone.
You've got a very, very successful business, but, you know, every time I go to my local supermarket, I won't say which one it is, I find that the shelves are empty of Foreman smoked salmon. And, you know, my understanding is that people are buying it less and less because they're trying to boycott it.
Well, no, it's because they've run out.
No, they sell out, obviously.
I guess the point I'm making is that these woke companies will order less of your product
Well, it's
because they don't like
interesting.
you.
Look, if Marks and Spencer are trying to make profit out of woke products, should we boycott them? Now, here's a really interesting thing. I know a young chap, that was selling free Gaza T-shirts, and he was donating all the profits to the IDF. Brilliant!
It reminds me.
He sent them a little note with their purchase saying, "Thank you very much for your purchase. Your donation will be going straight to the IDF." Genius.
But it reminds me of Peter Tatchell, who turned up at the Free Gaza March with "Free them from Hamas,"
Yeah.
which I thought was
All credit to him.
But Pete, onto this. Well, I don't know whether it's a worrying statistic, but I just wonder why people have suddenly changed their sexuality because it became trendy about 10 years ago.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think there is an element of we're a little bit more of an open society now, so there are more people that it's easier to come out. I think there is a big element of that. But my question is, well, do these people stay in the LGBT community? Because for a long time in sociology, there was known as the problem of the vanishing lesbian. And what was happening was until
Is that
women.
a film?
No. It was
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Oh. It's the makers of the film The Vanishing Lesbian. They say it's been absolutely hugely successful and it's available on Pornhub.
Okay.
She vanished. That's what I want to know.
No. Let me explain.
She just goes poof.
Let me explain. So basically what was happening was that women were identifying as either being bisexual or being a lesbian till they got to about 28, 29, 30, because that's when they wanted to have children. And that's when they went and got married. So when you used to look at the old statistics, it used to go like a bit steady, and then they got to 30 years old and the stats just dropped massively.
They stopped being
And it was
silly.
known as the problem of the vanishing lesbian. and then people put it down to the fact that these people wanted to get married and have kids and all the rest of it.
Last week you were talking about Walter Baggett. This week you're talking about the disappearing lesbians.
Oh, well, it's
We're not pronouncing properly. Badget.
Magic, yeah. But no.
Is that a really bad Hitchcock film, The Vanishing Lesbian?
But
From the makers of Independence Day comes the vanishing lesbian.
Yeah, but just really quickly, and the rest of this study, they also asked the younger people which political party in America they identify as. And 35% of people asked, I said they were Democrats, and 20% said they were Republicans. But interestingly, 30% of them, I think it was just short of a third, actually said that they were independent. Right. So what I found interesting was, is there going to be a point where both of the main political parties, not just, I think, in America, but also maybe over here, that young people are just saying, we don't want you. And I just wondered, how far are we going to go until the kind of younger people suddenly take over the political establishment? What will happen?
Suppose that you're Vlad the Invader and you want to turn your people against the West so they won't want to become Westerners, because that's how the first lot of communism collapsed, and they don't want the second lot to collapse, now that the KGB are in charge again. So what you do is you promote all this LGBTQ. There's a kind of general rule in the intelligence community that if you get a very sudden societal change, somebody is pushing it.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's part of what's going on.
Yeah, I think you're right there. But also, I think this stuff allows us to bring back one of my favourite phrases from the Cold War, was the useful idiots.
Yeah.
Which were the people who continue to spout this nonsense, believing that they're doing the right thing without questioning, like you said, Lord Monckton, all this kind of, well, who's pushing it? Or more importantly, why are they pushing it?
I tend to call them useless idiots.
But no, honestly, it's one of my favourite phrases, useful idiot.
Okay, so to Lance, who, by the way, has no expertise in the subject.
That was legal in the ear.
What with the goatee and the suntan, Lance? I'm joking. Are 28% of Americans under 25 now identified as LGBTQ plus A, B, C, D?
Yes, true.
It's absolutely true! Nigel Farage has called for children to be allowed to vape in schools. Is it true or is it false? It's one of those things that could be true.
Now, Nigel, I think one of the reasons why we all love Nigel, and I was his leader of UKIP in Scotland, so he and I were very close, still are, is that he understands that ordinary folk like him, like you and me, like to have a fag or a cigar or a vape or a pint of beer. A pint of beer is his particular favourite.
Yes.
And why not?
Yes.
So it's the kind of thing that he might say, but the thing is, at the moment, he is going through the long, dark tea time of the soul, trying to work out, should he come back into politics to put right some of this woke rubbish, to stop all this climate rubbish, to do something proper about excessive immigration?
Can I ask this question? Are we now, post-COVID, just obsessed with telling people what to do? Has the nanny state just taken root in our psyche?
It's partly because the blob doesn't think that we can be trusted to run our own lives. Margaret Thatcher was very good about this. She said, it's none of our business, whether they vape or they don't. None of our business to ban smoking. We'll make it expensive and make it profitable to us by taxing it, but we're not going to ban it. Because and she was advised by a wonderful man called Lord Harris, who was a...
Oh, what a surprise. For the purposes of balance, I hate you lot, we're going to have to bring on the woke wabbit! Right, go on, do me a favour. Right, I'm talking to a Viscount, now I have to talk to you. Right,
You're welcome.
So get out of it, right?
From the ridiculous to the sublime.
Do me a favour. First of all, don't wrestle him this time. His wife was very upset last time. But OK, tell me, why should we be telling young people what to do when it comes to vaping?
Because young people clearly can't be trusted. They just throw them away on the ground. It adds to the climate change. And yeah, people aren't smart enough to live their lives properly.
So you believe that actually you wouldn't mind them vaping, the concern is the environmental impact of vaping?
Exactly.
And what is the environmental impact of it? I don't know why I'm even asking this. I mean, you know something. I've got a postgraduate from the University of London. I'm talking to a bloody rabbit.
The world is ending in 10 years if we don't ban vaping.
No. Is it true that Al Gore said the world was going to end in 10 years in 2005?
Yes, but then we started putting in climate change policies and we saved the world, obviously.
Except that we didn't. None of the communist countries are doing it, and their electricity prices are
We're the communist
1/7
country.
of ours.
And in America.
And all the jobs from our factories are going there because we're so stupid about it. So I'm sorry, woke wabbit, but you're just wrong on
Yes. Yeah, woke wabbit. Why don't you?
Wrong. The answer, therefore, is no, he didn't.
It is absolutely, just to recap the question, Nigel Farage has called for children to be allowed to vape in schools. Lord Monckton says it's false. It's absolutely false! OK, Pete. California shops that refuse to sell gender-neutral toys will be fined £500. Is it true or is it false?
Well, it's California, so it's probably true because it's a hellhole. And it's run by a guy called Gavin Newsom, who is probably the devil incarnate. He is the king of woke. I think he's worse than Justin Trudeau, which is saying something. But
hang on. You can't insult Justin Trudeau. He's Canada's first black prime minister.
But no, so this is actually true. And what it is, it's if certain stores, if they have over, I think it's 5,000 employees, they have to have a specific aisle for all the toys that are not for boys or not for girls. And it was
just toy shops then.
Yeah, this is what
You
I
wouldn't
don't
go into a
understand.
fishmonger saying, can I have a gender-neutral toy?
It depends, but hang on, it depends whether they're adult toys or children's toys.
But the way I looked at this story, and the way I've started to look at quite a few things now is when you look at California, it has a rising crime rate. It's got a huge opioid crisis. It's got a huge homelessness crisis, and this is what they're choosing to spend their time on. The political establishment. And this is the way that politics is starting to go, particularly with woke people.
Well, it's distraction.
Can I have 6 bags of potatoes, please?
Governor! Governor! How much do you want? Oh, musical. There we go.
I was going to say, this is the thing I've started to notice more with woke, is they are so driven by this agenda that everything else just doesn't matter to these people.
But
the economy
it's a
doesn't
deliberate
matter.
distraction, and actually a lot of this stuff is actually fundamentally sexist in itself. So, for example, what is a gender-neutral toy? And I'm talking about children's toys now. I mean, why is it a male thing to, play with trucks or guns and like Barbies is girls? They are the sexists. They are the people.
Yeah.
But if you put a pile of children's toys to a group of toddlers, the boys will run in directions of certain items, the girls will run in the direction of other items. But anyway, Pete, let me ask you: have Californian shops that refuse to sell gender-neutral toys, are they going to be fined $500?
Yes, they are. Sadly, it's true.
It's absolutely true.
Andre Walking.
Hi, hello everybody. How are you?
Have you ever kissed a Tory?
Of course, Boris. I love him.
Do you?
Absolutely.
Do you like Boris?
We love Boris.
So would you kiss me?
Why, you're not a Tory? Are you a Tory?
Yes, I am. I'm a Conservative Party member. Would you ever kiss a Tory?
If you don't kiss a Tory, you're missing out. Look at that goodness.
Come on, would you kiss a Tory?
I would not kiss a Tory, but neither would I kiss a Labour. So
Would you kiss a Lib Dem?
no, sorry, no.
Is it because they're into politics and that's a bit boring?
Not because they're into politics, just because I don't trust any of them.
Would you ever kiss a Tory?
Probably not.
Would you? You look tempted.
Absolutely not.
What would tempt you to kiss a Tory?
Nothing.
Would you kiss a Tory?
No,
Why not?
don't want to.
Excuse me. I just want to ask you a very quick question for TalkTV. Would you be willing to kiss a Tory?
No,
Why not?
they all.
There we go. I'll push you off. There we go. Oh, don't touch his bum. But wouldn't you feel a bit sorry for them?
Sorry for them, why?
Well, because if they're left on their own and they can't breed, then they might die out as a species. Oh, sir, can I bother you for a second?
today?
Have you ever kissed a Tory?
Well, I can now.
Oh, it's a disaster! Oh, I can't believe this has happened to me!
That was The Woke That Was. Continues after the break. Andre Walking.
What is a woman? What is a woman?
I told her a nice woman is here from London. You want a nice, a horrible woman, you know what I mean? What I'm saying, a nice woman is a lady, you know what I'm saying?
I think he's brought real clarity to the subject. Thank you. What is a woman?
A woman, in my description, is a wombed man. Woman, wombed man.
What is a woman?
Sexy.
Kiss the baby, there we go. What is a woman?
Sexy, empowering. Who run the world? Girls.
If you want to call yourself a woman on Tuesday and a man on Wednesday, if you want to go between the two, it's up to you.
We're talking about chromosomes. I didn't quite hear that. What was that?
Y, X and Y. Well, if X and Y, why? Why am I man? Why am I man? Because you're Y. And why am I X? Because I'm an X.
I think you can be whatever you want to be. If you want to
What if I was to say I want to be a horse? And by the way, believe me, I'm similar. Believe.
Anybody that wants to be a woman can be a woman.
Can I be a woman?
If you wanted to, you can be a woman.
Do I have to shave my back to be a woman?
Absolutely not. I've never shaved my back in my life.
A woman is a strong, independent person.
So I think a woman is somebody who's got and then oh, I'm so sorry. She can't understand. She can't understand. But
What's a man? And a
There you go.
I just wonder that people don't know what a woman is anymore.
Well, no, but she obviously needs a womb of some kind, I would have thought.
If I kind of put a frock on now, would I be a woman?
Pretty good looking one, I'd say, yeah.
What is a woman?
What is a woman? This is a woman. This is my wife. This.
Right now, it's like a mental state. Like if you feel like that's what you were born and you're not happy with your body, I think that's what makes you a woman.
What is a woman?
A woman is something. Have no idea.
What is a woman?
I am a woman.
Look, this says sister from Mexico. Do you know what a woman is? If I wore a dress and shaved my back, would that make me a woman?
Well, what do you want to be?
Would you like to touch it? It's a little bit clammy. Now, I can't lie to you. I used to be a member of staff at the House of Commons. I previously worked for Margaret Thatcher, and this is what I'm doing for a living.
Welcome back to That Was the Woke That Was.
So now to future UKIP leader Lois Perry. The EU wants to ban the historic phrase no man's land and replace it with the phrase unclaimed territory because it's sexist. Is it true or is it false?
Well, I think we should get in there first and actually say this is cultural appropriation using English, no man's land. So actually, I do not give them permission in the European Union to use English. So there you go.
Except that the language of Ireland and Malta is English. Lois,
but apart from that,
Lois, you've fallen at the first hurdle.
and in law, the phrase for no man's land is nullo domino, which means no lord owns it.
Oh.
Yet.
Domino effect. But, so, I mean, why are they focusing on that? In French, OK, le travail, work, is male.
Yes.
La cuisine, the kitchen, is female.
Yay!
Shouldn't they sort out their own language?
And let's actually look at what's happening in the EU. It's got a huge economic problem. We've got potentially the first land war in Central Europe for God knows how many years now, and this is what they're coming out with. I do not understand Remainers or Rejoiners, whatever they're called now, why you would want to voluntarily rejoin this institution that clearly is not run by government. I don't understand it.
I maintain that the big problem following the invasion of 1066, I'm sorry that people are going to disagree with me, is there has been a culture in England that anything that is from France or the continent is better than what is English. That's my own theory.
No,
there is only one way that Europe will ever be truly united, and that is under the British Crown.
Yay! OK, so to the woke wabbit, do you believe that Lord Monckton's comments about Europe being ruled by the British are bad?
Just for that, he is now on minus 1,000.
OK. Now, are you concerned about sexist language in general conversation?
Only when I'm listening to you speak.
No. How much do you hate me?
Like probably 8 or 7 out of 10.
OK, well, you can go now. You can come back. No, not go completely. Stand over there, off shot. I don't know. Under that outfit, he's meant to be one of the rising stars of our production team. Right. So, Lois, has the EU attempted to ban the phrase no man's land? Is it true or is it false?
I would say it's the EU, so yes, absolutely true.
It's absolutely true! Tory MPs have been advised to shave off their beards because it turns off voters. Now, you've been a former Tory MEP. Yeah. Were you ever told to shave off your beard? You didn't have one?
I didn't have a beard at that.
No, I like the beard.
I didn't have a beard at that time, and the beard is relatively recent. It's a bit sexist if they're telling men to shave it. I mean, what are they going to tell women to shave off?
No, well, why have you asked me that? I mean, what is the problem?
We won't go into that.
So I have to ask you, lads, I've always wanted to ask you this. What is more enjoyable to have a conversation with, a dead salmon or a Tory MP?
The dead salmon has more to say.
There's not a lot of difference between oily fish and politics. God, James Cleverly's got a beard now, hasn't he? So
he has. Yeah. Margaret Thatcher would never.
She never had a beard. She didn't have a beard.
No, she didn't have a beard, and she didn't approve of them either, because they do look, particularly yours. It's pretty scruffy. If you're going to have one, you must keep it properly trimmed.
No, I've got.
What's wrong with this beard?
I'm very sorry.
Go to a Turkish barber.
I'm very sorry. I mean, I appreciate that you didn't intend to grow the beard.
No,
but
it's growing on me now.
Yeah. but I've got to say to you, I like it.
Yeah,
I like
Yeah,
it.
but it does need attention, Squire. Go to a Turkish barber; they know how to do it properly. For you.
I mean, you are in terms of the suntan, you are turning into David Dickens. Hello, bargain hunters.
Don't say that to him, please.
I'm just going to just say that this wasn't actually a dictat from CCHQ. This was just the fact that I think it was 2 Tory MPs, I think it was Tim Loughton and Chris Phillips, that had very distinctive, like, scruffy beards these were men who couldn't grow a proper beard.
Oh, so it was all
It was
tufty.
kind of all over the place, and I think that's kind of
Was it like off Team America World Police?
Yes, that kind of thing, yeah. So I saw this story and I was like, please tell me CCHQ did not tell people to tell people to shave off beards, but luckily it was more of a comment made by people on Twitter than anything else.
What about the great piece of advice that Linton Crosby gave to Tory MPs? Buy a dog. Dog owners trust dog owners.
No, it's really funny how small things like that actually affect how voters how they move. And
Do you think that I should try growing a beard for my leadership?
I'd start with the dog.
No, let's just be clear. There's nothing we can say in response to Lois. It's going to make it in the final edit. So let's not do that. So
and we must make it clear that Lois Perry is a candidate for the leadership of UKIP.
OK, so to Lance, have Tory MPs been advised to shave off their beards? Is it true or is it false?
Well, I have no desire to become a Tory MP, so I think it's probably true.
It's absolutely true! OK, the government is going to make all prison canteens vegan to promote equality. Is it true or is it false?
My goodness. Well, when I was in prison...
I'm sorry, Lord Monckton. Technically, a boarding school is not prison.
I see.
The House of Lords is not there yet.
Yes. Well, certainly the Harrow prison was where I was. The food was execrable. And we only kept going because there were various tuck shops that realised...
Hang on a second, you went to Harrow?
Yes.
But you would have gone in the days when the teachers didn't actually run the boarding houses. It was the sixth formers.
No, well, that's exactly it. That
must have been horrendous.
I was walloped on my 14th birthday for having borrowed somebody else's football shorts. This was a very serious crime.
They weren't in them at the time.
Come on, let's get those off.
Yes, that would probably have been approved of in those days. In the prison, food is actually very nutritious. It's very well balanced. People come out of prison often a lot fitter than they went in.
That is true.
And no,
that's because they've had to run off from the old lags, Jason. I've seen the Shawshank Redemption.
It would be contrary to the prisoners' human rights if they were only allowed to have this ghastly vegan food, which is very bad for you. We were evolved to eat meat.
Lord Monckton, do you agree?
The roast beef of old England, and you get that in prison too.
Do you agree with this concept where you have, a vegan option, a vegetarian option, a halal option, all this sort of thing? I think you should eat. You're in prison. Why do you have the luxury of having your dietary requirements catered to, unless it's a medical reason?
Well, I think that you could argue that prisoners are too pampered, and there are some prisons where the conditions are, you might say, acceptable, but most of them are pretty dingy places. I mean, I've sprung several people out of them.
Do we believe that the government is going to make all prisons vegan? Is it true or is it false?
Oh, I think it's false.
It's absolutely false! OK, so to Pete, according to a recent poll of 14,000 people, more than half would rather have Vladimir Putin as Prime Minister than Rishi Sunak. Is it true or is it false?
My Lord, I really hope this is wrong, because I have to admit that you can dislike Rishi Sunak all you like, but can we stop glorifying dictators and people that lock up their political oppositions?
But hang on a second,
people
Pete.
like that?
Pete, hang on a second. We had it in London where people were willing to protest Donald Trump, but not President Xi of China. And President Xi of China, I mean, they were saying Donald Trump is an anti-Muslim racist or Islamophobic. I mean, President Xi has got, 2 million Muslims in concentration camps?
I do think this is quite a long-term problem.
Keeping the term light.
Touche.
Do you know the problem with Lord Monckton? He always wins in the end.
I know, he does.
I love it when folk walk straight into a barn door.
But no, I completely agree with you that people will protest Trump and all that because that's easy to do. And this is one of the reasons I don't like a lot of these kind of processes, because it's easy. You know, it's particularly more difficult to go up against the Chinese state or the Russians than it is, to go up against Donald Trump, who is an ally, the America is an ally. But the thing that concerns me the most about this is I think a lot of is that in this country people live in a kind of liberal bubble.
Yeah.
Do you know, where people don't realise just how horrible it is in certain bits of the world. You know, we see it on social media, we see it in the news and all the rest of it. But actually to go to these places and to be in them, it is a completely different thing.
Lance, is that the problem? I mean, somebody was saying to me the other day about the United Nations. What we do is we get every country in the world together, the majority of which are absolutely rotten, corrupt dictatorships, and then we say, let's take a majority view on things. We don't realise that the rest of the world can be dark and nasty and evil.
Well, that is absolutely right. Most of the members of the UN are dictatorships. Yeah. They don't have voting in their own country, and yet all the decisions in the UN are based on voting. Yeah. So it just doesn't make any sense at all. You know, there's just no sense at all. But on this question with Putin, of course he's going to win a poll. Yeah. Putin doesn't ever lose polls. He makes sure that he's going to win every single poll. I'm sure he had his people there voting.
Yeah, but hang on a second. Always remember, Rishi Sunak lost the election for Prime Minister and then became Prime Minister anyway. That is very much Putin-esque.
That's probably what they're putting out in sort of Pravda. And,
that's the Robert Mugabe, exactly. Robert Mugabe strategy. Sorry, Lois.
What they didn't say is the poll was actually done in Russia.
And for the sake of balance, I should point out that if you vote Labour in the next election, you'll get Putin anyway.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
We've already got Putin. The reason why there's more people on those protests is because he's probably funding it all.
Yeah. The other big problem is that the teachers' union, the members, the people who teach our children, a surprisingly large number of them are communists. And they don't teach the children how many people communism has killed. Yeah. It's killed hundreds of millions of people worldwide. It's the most murderous system of government there's ever been.
Well, I've got to say to you, Pete, people are taking down statues for people responsible for slavery. Karl Marx.
Yeah.
Let's have Karl Marx in Highgate Cemetery.
That's around the corner from where I live. There's a massive Karl Marx
So,
statue.
Pete, we're running out of time for this show. So, according to a recent poll of 14,000 people, is Vladimir Putin more popular than Rishi Sunak? Is it true or is it false?
Sadly, I think this is going to be true.
It's absolutely and unfortunately true!
That was The Woke That Was. Continues after the break. Andre Walking.
Should Gary Lineker be sacked?
Yes.
Why?
Because he's a prat.
Gary Lineker should stick to football is what I think. That's what he's good at, that's what he knows, and that's what we love him for.
Are you sick of Gary Lineker?
I don't know who Gary Lineker is.
He's a BBC presenter who said that it's terrible what we're doing to the migrants.
Yeah, I would agree.
You agree you're sick of him, or you agree with him?
I'm sick of him.
Do you think that there's an element here where film stars, TV stars, sports stars just want to say all this woke stuff just in order to show off?
Absolutely. They need to stick to their job of playing sport, nothing else. And just because they think that they are a celebrity doesn't mean they've got any say what the rest of us should think and do.
Should Gary Lineker be sacked?
Possibly.
Why?
I just think.
At the end of the day, Gary Lineker gets paid too much money. He's got too much of an influence on people. So he tries to speak for everyone, but he just causes himself trouble.
Do you think sometimes those big ears should be listening rather than the big mouth speaking?
What you sow, you reap.
I agree with letting certain immigrants in, particularly those who need political asylum, those who have been persecuted, but those who are economic migrants, no. But then when you ask the question of these people, will you take somebody? No, they've always got an excuse why they can't take somebody, but they're quite prepared to tell other people to do it.
I think, really, he shouldn't be saying that as the idol that he is on the television. He shouldn't really be saying that.
Are you sick of Gary Lineker?
I love Gary Lineker.
Why?
He's a national football treasure.
He's trying to stay relevant. But yeah, stick to football, Gary. Cheers.
He's saying what everyone thinks. He shouldn't be punished for it.
Do you think if he said that he wanted all the migrants out of the country, he'd be allowed to continue at the BBC?
I wouldn't have said so.
So isn't there a degree of hypocrisy on the BBC's part?
I think he's allowed to say what he wants to on his own personal Twitter.
Do you think people in a position of power in the media should always speak out for the issues they believe in, even if their bosses aren't very happy about it?
Everything has a consequence, and it's up to them to use their own morality to decide whether or not using their voice is worth losing their job, and sometimes it is.
By the way, we had the falafel here, and it was excellent.
Oh, it's beyond.
Oh, great.
Well,
Yeah,
you're not
no.
getting one from us. It's lovely.
Are you a regular vegetarian?
I swing both ways, you know.
But what about the... Hey, there we go.
What's this for?
It's for TalkTV. We combine news with a bit of fun.
Oh, a bit of fun. Sounds great, and you're a great host.
OK, thank you. And I think I'm better than Gary Lineker.
You are.
Still don't know who he is.
Still don't know who he is.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Welcome back to That Was the Woke That Was.
The ambassador of King Charles's anti-violence charity has been filmed attacking someone. Is it true or is it false?
Well, oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, that surprises me just as much as, you know, like a deodorant company sponsoring Prince Andrew, because, of course, he doesn't sweat at all. No.
Absolutely. And Prince Andrew, of course, also doesn't know that Pizza Express in Woking is open at a different time to a nightclub. One is
Can you imagine sitting in Pizza Express in Woking with the man that doesn't sweat, you know, like Prince Andrew coming in with his...
No, can you imagine sitting in Pizza Express in Woking at 5 a.m. when Tramps nightclub's open? No, you can't. Neither can anyone else.
Was it supposed to be that he was in Tramp? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
What is Pizza Express?
What is Tramp? You didn't say what is Tramp, though, did you? You didn't say what is Tramp.
I love the way you've managed to just Jemmy Prince Andrew.
No, I don't. Well,
stick to the violence.
I'm sorry. I mean, I do feel sorry for King Charles on this, even though he is a net zero fanatic. I mean, you can't be held responsible for all of the people that you endorse that are involved. But it is. I laughed. I actually thought it was quite funny, and then I saw the footage, and I shouldn't have laughed at that, and I laughed at that too. Does that make me a really bad person?
Yes, it does. Because I saw the same footage, and I was shocked as to just how violent.
Well, I was shocked. I laughed.
Hang on a second. If you're an expert in violence, you can be quite good.
Yeah, but Andre, look, the charity concerned is called the British Asian Trust. If you're going to have an anti-violence charity, don't call it BAT.
Yeah. That's very true. Very true. But again, this kind of falls into my theory that, you know, if you are like one of these people that campaigns against something, secretly in another life or behind closed doors, you are just as guilty of whatever it is that you're campaigning against.
The thing that used to amaze me, the way in government and local government, they never use the word anti very often. So you look at the police, the rape squad. You think, well, what are you doing? And we at one point, this got.
You don't want to be arrested like them.
It should be the anti-rape squad. But this culminated in 1 year. The government demanded that every local authority appoint a domestic violence champion.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on Vice Squad.
What on earth? A domestic violence champion. Well done, Keith. It's just dreadful.
I just find this the champions thing is a really good point, because I just find this kind of stuff just utterly pointless. It's just a PR exercise.
It is.
And we have a real problem with knife crime here in London and throughout the country. And I suddenly wonder, well, where's Black Lives Matter?
Yeah,
where are all the people that protested in central London? Where are you? I mean, Idris Elba has just started up a new charity to tackle this stuff. And I was like, why is he taking this one celebrity? Where are all the celebrities that jumped on all these social trends?
I have to say, the thing that really upsets me about Black Lives Matter, the idea that police in Britain are shooting black people for no reason has no basis in fact.
No.
However, the belief that the policing system is letting down young black men and seeing the murder rate run out of control is definitely and demonstrably true. And Black Lives Matter don't care.
Oh, they couldn't care less because like I said, like all these people that jump on these kind of social bandwagons just to kind of get some street credit to say, aren't they well wonderful? My question is always, well, what have you actually done? I'm sick to death of like, they gave this speech or they gave that. That's not doing anything. The phrase I really hate at the moment is raising awareness. I think it is the worst phrase ever.
I was in a debate once with somebody. We were talking about what to do about Saddam Hussein, and I said, well, OK, if we're not going to invade, if we're not going to have sanctions, if we're not going to do anything, what are we going to do to get rid of Saddam Hussein? And the bloke looked at me as if I was completely mad and went, build solidarity with the Iraqi people.
It doesn't mean
what is building solidarity?
You hear those kind of phrases all the time, and I'm like, it doesn't mean anything.
It's just empty.
And I think this might be like the way that if you work in politics, I always think that politics for people like me is a verb. It's something that you do. And my thing is, you've got to do something. I'm sick to death of people just talking and talking and talking and talking. And I'm like, you've got to do something.
Pete,
could you stop talking?
Pete, you're a media contributor, son. When we go, oh, I can't believe that people just talk for a living.
Like an hour a week.
Oh, it's Pete Barnes from Wigan. He says, don't you bully my son anymore. And the collection of pies is on the way.
Oh, good.
There we go. So to Lois.
Yes.
Has the ambassador of King Charles's anti-violence charity been filmed attacking someone? Is it true or is it false?
Yeah, he battered him. Yeah, true.
It's absolutely true. Now, Winston Churchill's false teeth have gone on sale for £8,000. Is it true or is it false?
It's slightly false because it's actually 12 grand.
Inflation.
And of course, anyone who buys those teeth will be able to deliver the finest speeches that this nation has ever heard.
Lance, do you think the teeth might stink of cigar smoke?
Whiskey, cigars, absolutely.
I mean, they've had a life, though. They've had a life. As I always say about teeth, be careful, kids. The third set's the most expensive. First two are free. First two are free. When you go in, you go, how much?
These are his false teeth, though.
They are his false
So, of course, it'll be false.
Can you imagine if they were his real teeth?
Oh, my Lord.
They like pulled them out of his head and go, we'll have those, flog them off.
Do you know what?
I think they would have fallen out of his head if he had false teeth.
When you see all these kind of like weird things from celebrities and historical people from the past, and I'm like, who is buying this stuff?
Well, have you ever
Hey,
seen...
I've got a piece of Marilyn Monroe's stocking with the seam.
That's because you stole it, Lois. That's a different situation.
Have you ever seen that? And this is the TV show, not anything dodgy. That Porn Stars TV show. You know, the one where they buy and sell stuff in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, this is Fred Astaire's sock.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what, you know, it's just stupid, absolutely stupid.
Those kind of shows always baffle me, but
The other one I don't understand is like those, you know, those magic playing cards where they go, this card's worth £800,000. You go, why would you buy that?
Why would you buy it? And, you know, I'm just like, also, where do you put that stuff? Do you put it on display? Is it, do you have like a pillar in your living room with it just with the teeth out?
If it's worth that much, you put it in the bank and never see it again.
Hang on, Pete. So are you telling me that everyone doesn't have a clear plastic vial of Jeff Goldblum's sweat in their living room?
I love it.
No, they've got Prince Andrews.
I couldn't believe it when somebody claimed that they had captured and bottled Harry Styles' flatulence and put it on eBay. How? I mean, it raises the obvious question. Anyway, so we're going to ask everybody, do we think that Winston Churchill's teeth have gone on sale? Is it true or is it false?
Oh, let's say it's true. Just for fun.
You suggested it was a 12 grand. We said it's 8, but we're going to give you it. True! The Food Standards Agency has said that bringing cakes to the office encourages people to eat sugar and should be banned because that's as bad as passive smoking. I've been out and about asking people whether cakes should be banned from the office. Do you believe that it's bad to take cakes into the office?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it helps people to eat more sweet things and they put on weight. And
Hey, why are you looking at me when you say put on weight?
Well, you know.
I've never really been into eating cakes, and I was working in an office, and there was definitely social pressure.
The Food Standards Agency has said that people shouldn't bring cakes into the office on the grounds that they're unhealthy. Do you think cakes are a bad thing?
No.
Why not? Do you want one?
You're dead right, I do, yeah.
Right, what flavour do you want?
Oh, no, what with choice here?
If you eat just a small piece of cake, it does you wonders. And we have fruit filling in a lot of our cakes as well, in the centre of it. So it's delicious, and it's not too much at a time.
Do you think it's right that the Food Standards Agency wants to ban cake from offices?
No.
Why?
Because people have a free will. I think they're very nice cakes.
Do you want one?
Yes, please.
Go for it.
Just the one.
OK, well, I wasn't offering you two. What if they say that you do feel a social pressure to eat them?
Then you're mad.
Give me the cake and I'll tell you.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Are you happy?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Oh, can I have a sup of your can?
You can if you want.
Oh, fantastic. Cheers, mate. Oh, I've not had special brew in ages. Would you like a bite of my cake?
No, thank you.
Why not? It's tasty.
Because your mouth is maybe dirty.
Where do you think my mouth's been?
You know where.
On my face, that's all. It's done nothing, my mouth.
Let me see your eyes. Oh my God, you've done so many bad things today.
Just a small one. Hello, would you like some cake?
Yes.
Bite my cake. Bite my cake. Oh, there we go. We've lost it. Bit more.
What's in it?
Bit more. It's nothing's in it. It's fine. It's good. Do you not like it?
It's all right.
It's not bad, that is it?
Delicious.
Thank you very much. Have a bit.
Okay.
Okay.
Open the mouth.
Yeah, go on. Oh, there we go. Well done. Oh, it's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, very strange, very interesting. Very nice. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I've got cake on my face. Look at that. Can you get it off?
didn't see it.
Can you just get it off? Get it off. Just get it off. Oh, come on, just lick it off. It'll be all right.
Lick it off. Oh, now you've crossed the boundary now. If there was a bit of a tissue, I might think, but no.
Well, I think it's fair to say that the good people of Ealing do not want cake banned in the office. And as they say in these parts, you can take our cake, but you cannot take our freedom!
What's in it?
Nothing's in it. It's fine. It's good. Do you not like it? Oh, there we go. Well done.
Very strange, very interesting.
Oh my God, you've done so many bad things today.
And now for the final scores, the Woke Wabbit! It's been a great show, hasn't it?
I've loved every second of it.
You lying git. Okay, what are the scores?
I think today, Lance wins. I love the pink shirt. It's very woke. Congratulations.
So Lance wins with the salmon pink shirt. Predictable. Thank you so much to Lois Perry. Thank you so much to Lance Foreman. Thank you so much to Lord Monckton and indeed to Pete Barnes. I'm off now to steal some smoked salmon. Goodbye.